Hey guys, what's up? We're back with another internet anarchist video. The deserved downfall of Ellen Degeneres. I used to watch her, but it was only on that one talk show. I don't know what it's called though. I think it was the Ellen DeGeneres show or something. But let's get into it.
Ellen DeGeneres' career is the perfect example of the saying, what goes around comes around. Even though her on-screen acts of generosity and slogan of be kind created a multi-award winning talk show, Ellen's deplorable behavior behind the scenes garnered a reputation so damaging that it would eventually undermine everything she built.
Let me see what else I can tell you about that. It's been going on. Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. Yeah.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be delving deep into the well-deserved downfall of TV's most hated comedian, Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, honestly, she wasn't even that funny. I don't know why those people laughed. Personally, she was not that funny.
How her persona of positivity captivated millions, who Ellen was when the cameras were off, and what happened to her career when these two parts of her life inevitably collided. To say Ellen had a knack for stand-up comedy would be a gross understatement. Within 5 years of dropping out of college to pursue comedy, Ellen went from working an MC gig at a local pub to winning the award for the funniest female comedian in America and getting her first television appearance in the popular 80s talk show The Tonight Show.
I'm always thinking about these things because to me life is very precious. It's very special. We're here for such a short time that everything on this earth should have a reason, should have a beneficial purpose. And I feel like everything does, except for fleas. You know? Fleas do nothing at all beneficial. I always thought at times like this when we can't figure it out for ourselves, wouldn't it be great if we could just pick up the phone and call up God and ask him these things? Just pick up the phone and call up God. Yeah, hi God, this is Ellen. Ellen. Degeneres. Degeneres. What's so funny? No, I never thought of that. It does sound like that, doesn't it?
Ha. Ha ha ha. Ha.
Ellen's unique perspective on life, deadpan humor, and sardonic personality both entertained audience members and built a connection with them. While her stand-up routine was sometimes self-depreciating, Ellen always based her jokes on relatable everyday situations, which gave her performance a broad appeal. This translated into Ellen starring in her own sitcom about a, quote, neurotic bookstore owner who deals with life through comedy and extensive rambling.
What'd you do that for?
I can't believe you'd want to watch this.
That's Ellen DeGeneres? What? No way she was on an actual TV show. Crazy work.
She's our friend. That's disgusting. Wait a minute, where'd you get this tape anyway?
I don't know, by the TV, from that box.
That's Anita's box.
Apparently. What else is in that box?
While the series was a hit with fans and received multiple Emmy Awards, ABC cancelled it in 1998 following the controversial puppy episode, which saw Ellen become the first openly homosexual lead character on a television show.
See the truth. I mean, be who I am. I'm 35 years old. I'm so afraid to tell people. I mean, Susan, I'm gay.
Even though she was able to get roles in other TV and movie productions, Ellen's first taste of controversy left an indelible mark on her career.
And the sitcom had been very successful. It wasn't. It went downhill. It did make a difference.
Huge.
And then you had a very tough time. You couldn't get a job. What was that like?
Not only couldn't get a job, couldn't get someone on a phone. I mean, they're literally, the show was canceled and no one called me.
That's crazy how undiverse people were back then. And not even being able to get on a show is wild work.
It was just, I found out, my assistant read it in the paper. And, I felt sorry for myself. I felt like this isn't fair. I thought people liked me, and why did this change anything? And I still am the same person, and, everything felt horrible to me.
However, entering the 2000s, Ellen's career would get a revival through her voice acting role as Dory in the highly successful animated...
She was Dory? This is news to me. She was Dory? What? They do not sound the same. No way. I'm astonished.
Movie Finding Nemo. Ellen's performance as Dory positively impacted her career in 3 distinct ways. 1, it reminded old viewers of what made Ellen's comedic style so special. 2, it introduced her to a whole new viewer base. And 3, it reignited interest in her career from Hollywood executives. By the 8th of September 2003, Ellen made her debut as a daytime talk show host with the first episode of The Ellen Degenenerate Show.
Cue cards are right there, and you may not think I need cue cards, but every single thing I'm saying is on the cue card. For instance, excuse me, my throat is so dry. Let me show you right here. We have
While the show followed a standard Hollywood talk show formula, Ellen's positivity, upbeat personality, and wholesome interactions with guests and audience members were truly what set her show apart.
I'm honestly just waiting for her downfall. I can't wait. Actually, wait. Yeah, I can. Never mind. Let's continue.
Minutes before showtime, and Ellen DeGeneres is warming up the staff, warming up the people who didn't manage to get a seat in her studio, warming up herself, and finally warming up her studio audience for the show.
That's not my
From making
PC.
huge charity donations to giving gifts to her
I
audience,
was making sure, bro.
Ellen always made her shows a
I
feel-good
was
experience
really
for
concerned for a
everyone
second.
watching.
That's me on the front of this Cheerios box right there, and here's the big part. If you have a box of Cheerios under your seat, I'm going to give you a special surprise gift. So check and see if you have a box of Cheerios under your seat. All right. So all of you got, isn't that interesting that what a coincidence all of you would get a box of Cheerios. You're all going to share this gift. It's the biggest gift I've ever given anybody, ever. And I hope you continue to pay it forward and share all the good. Hold on to your Cheerios, because all of you are splitting $1 million.
Making the audience feel good is always good for the ratings, as the Ellen DeGeneres Show would run for almost 20 years, draw in millions of viewers per episode, and win 80+ awards.
That's almost double. That's... Nah, 20 years. How old is she? She has to be like 60 now, right?
Combine this with Ellen's skillful use
40.
of social media to promote her show, and it's no wonder why she was a household name for so long. However, that success wouldn't last forever, as the public perception of the show and its host were gradually flipped on its head, as viewers got a closer look behind Ellen's mask of positivity. Throughout Ellen's time as a talk show host, there has always been a subtle but consistent undercurrent of resentment from people who either knew her personally or worked with her professionally. The first major signs of this would come during the 2007 Writers Guild of America strike. At the time, Ellen refused to side with her writers by crossing the picket line to continue working on the show. While some saw Ellen's decision as a necessary evil to maintain the jobs of the non-writing staff, others saw this choice as a selfish ploy to keep her ratings up. Around this time,
Yeah, I kind of see both sides on that. One side is like, go with me because we're the writers. And the other side's like, we're the filmers. We show everyone what the writers did. So one way or another, it would be bad. But I guess she did have to pick one.
one of Ellen's former writers would make a blog post discussing who she really was when the cameras weren't rolling. We'd watch her in rehearsals, smiling and winning us over with her charm and comic timing. Then the director would yell cut, her face would fall, and she'd level a glare at the writers. Why do you keep writing these unfunny jokes? I'm disappointed in Ellen, but not surprised, given what I've seen from her with my own 2 eyes. While these claims wouldn't have much impact on Ellen's public image, this entire incident sowed the seeds of doubt in viewers' minds.
I mean, while it wouldn't be too crazy because there's not a ton of proof, but there is still some, it would still, like, it would still put some doubt in some people. And I understand that. It would put doubt in me.
Minds and open the door to skepticism to her trademark acts of kindness. At the end of the day, if Ellen wasn't willing to show some compassion to the people she worked with, then was she worthy of being deemed as a kind person? By the late 2010s, suspicion around her kind persona had festered to the point that people were making compilations of and writing articles about the worst things Ellen has ever done. From insensitive jokes about guests' personal
Putting her
lives.
on blast.
We'll show pictures.
I don't know if I'm going to do this.
Yeah, you will.
This is the one thing that I have. It's like the one shred of dignity that I have.
Ring it on 3 different guys. We'll narrow it down. So ring it 3 different times. So then it's still out there. We still don't know. So let's show some pictures. Ring it at some point.
This
Okay.
makes me feel. All right.
Amy DeVito.
I don't know what I'm...
You're supposed to ring.
But I don't want to. I don't want to.
All right, I'll ring.
Because they'll send me angry emails
Here.
and I don't want to get them.
I'll hold it for you.
What are you doing to me? This is fake. Stop it.
Okay, all right.
Okay. What to start with? One, I'll just start from here. Doing something when someone does not give consent means don't do that thing. As you can see, she was already uncomfortable doing from the start. And then when she takes it from her and starts ringing it, that puts her on blast to everyone. And everyone that was getting rung maybe would find it to be funny, but some would take that seriously. And she's feeling the emotions, and it's just a dumb thing to do. Like, that really makes me mad. There's no point in doing something that someone doesn't want to do because you don't want to go off script a little bit. Maybe just skip that part and improvise a little bit rather than make someone feel so uncomfortable that they are crying on public television.
Right. This makes me feel so bad about myself. Every time I come up here, you put like a different dude up there on the screen.
To botched acts of charity.
Did you know your mom wrote that letter? I knew she entered me for a contest, but I didn't know.
Yeah, that was really sweet of her.
Yes.
Okay, so you started college this year.
Yeah.
Okay, and what are you studying?
I'm at Tufts right now, and I'm doing kind of my general eds, but I'm like pre-dental.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of college.
It's a lot.
Yeah, how much is tuition?
It's like more than $50,000 right now. I get a little bit of financial aid, but
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And your story is very sweet. And so I talked to my friends at Shutterfly. They want to help pay for...
One second.
I'm sorry. What does that mean? I just... Okay. So, this is awkward, but we're going to give you a computer. We have the computer.
I have a computer, but
Okay, but it's a nice computer.
Users noted every single time Ellen let the mask slip and exposed her true intentions. A particularly egregious example.
Yeah, I feel like she knew that she couldn't, and she was just doing that to like get the audience to laugh. And that's just messed up. But that's my opinion.
Example of this was the infamous gift shop incident. During one of her episodes, Ellen tried to test the trustworthiness of her audience with a gift shop where people could only take one item.
When I started the show 14 years ago, I said this is going to be like a relationship. And the most important thing, the foundation of a good relationship is, say it with me, separate thermostats. Oh. And then after that, trust, right? Trust is very important. So before the show, I put out some Ellen products with a sign that said only one per person. And I just wanted to see how honest my audience was, you know? Because it turns out you're very honest. Very, very honest. We set up really amazing.
However, when one individual decided to break that rule, Ellen decided to make an example out of her.
I'm ready. I think the large is
Okay. I'm gonna go. You go?
Then she goes back and she returns one of her stolen items.
As punishment, Ellen would single her out of the crowd and humiliate her in front of everyone.
That's messed up. I understand being like, oh yeah, but someone did do this. Won't say their name, but putting her on blast like that is just not funny. And it's humiliating and makes a person feel really bad because people will get mad at her for that. Whether they're like a super Ellen believer or whatever, but people can get mad at that and like harass her for it.
Everyone.
I really, I'm sorry. That's embarrassing and everything, but, you know, let that be a lesson to you, because you think... It is. You think nobody's watching you, and you just need to be a good person just because you want to be a good person. You go sit in that Ellen jail over there right now. No, you'll steal stuff back there. Come here, this way. What's your sister's name?
Anna.
All right.
While you could chuck these up to being isolated incidents, it became difficult to ignore Ellen's possible mean streak with the release of an article from the New York Times titled, "Ellen DeGeneres is not as nice as you think." The post discussed Ellen's return to stand-up comedy, her struggle between being nice on camera and being a person with a broader spectrum of emotions, and her thoughts about people who didn't think she was a kind person. Reading, "That bugs me if someone is saying that, because it's an outright lie. The first day I said, the one thing I want is everyone here to be happy and proud of where they work. And if not, don't work here. No one is going to raise their voice or not be grateful. That's the rule to this day." This statement suggested that Ellen's workplace had always been a place that fostered positivity and happiness. Unfortunately, the reality of working with Ellen was about to be revealed as anything but a happy experience. We've all got those habits that just stick, whether it's grabbing a drink to fit in at a party or reaching for something just because your hands feel empty. For moments like that, Fume, the sponsor of today's video, is a game changer. Fume is a flavored air device designed to give you...
Let's just...
of July 2020, BuzzFeed released an article detailing the toxic work experiences of one current and 10 former employees of the Ellen Degeneres show. Reading, "That be kind bullshit only happens when the cameras are on. It's all for the show," one former employee told the BuzzFeed News. "I know they give money to people and help them out, but it's for show." The former employees would also highlight instances of upper management making racist comments, playing favorites, and suppressing complaints of workplace toxicity. Reading, "I never felt like it was safe to go to my manager when I had issues, because this was the same person who would wait for me to go to the bathroom and then message me asking me where I was and why I wasn't at my desk." Even though Ellen might not be directly responsible for the toxic working conditions surrounding her show, people saw her as the face of talk show positivity. And
I hate people that are like that, that'll be specifically waiting for you to mess up. And they'll be like, why? Why'd you do that? Why? Like, mind your business.
Wanted to hold her accountable, especially when it's being relayed to the public as a long-running issue.
Hedda Muscat was with Ellen from the beginning in 2003 when the talk show was launched.
We were told from the very beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't, you know, go into her office. It was very nerve-wracking,
having
very
that
stressful.
many rules.
We all walked on eggshells all the time.
Muscat says, despite Ellen's Queen of Nice reputation, it became clear early on that it would not be a pleasant place to work. One incident with executive producer Ed Glavin left her shaken.
We were in our production meetings and she would watch Ed go off on people. Ellen would look at Ed and she would laugh, because I was hoping she was going to say, "Ed, you can't be yelling at crew this way. You can't be yelling at people this way." She laughed and she said, "Every production needs their dog."
Meaning?
No. Like, when a manager is yelling at producers and another person in the hierarchy that has more power doesn't step up for them because they're yelling at them for stupid stuff, that just yeah, She definitely deserves this downfall. I hope she never revives like she did back then.
Meaning Ed is her dog.
She stays down.
Her attack dog, so therefore she doesn't need to do that.
The claims made by staff only become more compelling when you factor in the viral Twitter thread from Calvin Portner, which mentioned several unpleasant interactions with fans Ellen had over the years. Reading, "When I was 15, Ellen was doing a contest of fans making a bust of her and sending it to her. I worked so hard on this and even wrote her a letter. Weeks later, she used it as a prop in a game and gave it away to a random person with $500 attached to the bottom." In response to mounting public outrage, Warner Media investigated and fired the 3 offending executives. Not long after, Ellen sent a letter to her employees addressing the controversy and trying to salvage the situation. Reading, "On day 1 of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen Degeneres show would be a place of happiness. No one would ever raise their voice and everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case, and for that, I am sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believe and what I hoped for our show. As we've grown exponentially, I've not been able to stay on top of everything and relied on others to do their jobs as they knew I'd...
While you may think those things, you're not doing the actions like you want to.
want them done. Clearly, some didn't. That will now change, and I'm committed to ensuring this does not happen again. Staff wouldn't be the only people Ellen apologized to, as she addressed her audience in a similarly sympathetic fashion.
I'm just so sorry that it's come to this. I really don't know what to say other than...
So what's going on?
This has gone on way too long. People have gotten away with murder.
Can I do what you've done to those children? You're sickening. Okay.
And
I think I had a brain aneurysm because of that.
So we've got to see fairness and we've got to see justice for all. Because right now, this is not a fair world. Not at all.
Most viewers thought Ellen's vague apology was a hollow PR move meant to win back public favor, but that didn't stop her from trying to paint a different narrative. By the start of season 18, Ellen would once again address viewers and reassure them that everything was perfectly fine, despite the opposite being the case.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. And then there
not allegations, there's proof.
Was an investigation.
Too much
I
proof,
learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take responsibility for what happened.
Like Uncle Ben once said, with power comes great responsibility. I mean, quote of the day.
At my show. This is the Ellen Degeneres Show. I am Ellen Degeneres. My name is there. My name is there. We have had a lot of conversations over the last few weeks about the show, our workplace, and what we want for the future. We have made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter.
Apology or not, all of the internet's worst fears about Ellen's true motives had come to light, and no one was going to give her the benefit of the doubt. After all, the fact that Ellen had been holding up a facade of happiness for so long meant that she was capable of faking anything and everything. As a result, Ellen's half-hearted apology cost her show over 1 million viewers, and that was only the...
Over 1 million. How many people were watching it? 38% is with its core demographic of women under the age of 54. So these people are... That's mean. I'm not going to say that. But... Yeah, she deserves all this. From what I've concluded, she deserves, like, more than this. And I think she's going to, like, take more backlash from it. I'm praying on it.
The beginning, as the downward trend would continue for the rest of season 18. Upper management could see the writing on the wall, and by May of 2021, Ellen announced that season 19 would be her last season.
And today I have an announcement to make. Today, I am announcing that next season, season 19, is going to be my last season. So, the past 18 years, you have to know, has changed my life. You all have changed my life. And I am forever grateful to all of you for watching, for laughing, for dancing, sometimes crying. This show has been the greatest experience of my life, and I owe it all to you.
When asked about how she felt about the show ending, Ellen would try to play it off and describe it as an emotional experience for everyone.
How did it feel in that moment?
To say it today?
Yes.
Emotional. Because I haven't been sleeping. I've been trying to, anticipate how to tell them and, hope that everybody would take it okay.
If you're not sleeping over that, over saying all that, I understand having nerves. But thinking about just saying it like that and not sleeping over is crazy work.
A lot of people were very emotional, and I got emotional. So that was that first step, and then today was the first time telling, everybody else. So it was emotional.
However, when pressed about the controversy that spawned her low rating, Ellen would be far less charitable with her words.
I don't have to remind you there was an allegation of a toxic workplace. You had to get rid of 3 top managers here. People went after you personally.
She does not look pleased when she's talking about that right now. Hold on. I mean, I know she's like nodding her head, but hold on.
Managers here.
She does not look pleased at all. She's wanting to get off this topic, so she's trying to skip past what she's already done, and that's just not possible.
People went after you personally. Did that have anything to do with this decision?
Well, it's certainly, if it was why I was quitting, I would have not come back this year, because everything happened, what you're talking about is last summer. And honestly, I really did think about not coming back, because it was devastating. Because it started with me. It started with attacks on me and attacking everything that I stand for and believe in and built my career around. I am a kind person. I am a person who likes to make people happy. I am a people...
Not according to everything else that other people have said. You were laughing at people getting yelled at, saying that every workplace has their dogs. You cannot skip past that.
Pleaser, this is who I am. There must be some truth to it, because it's not stopping.
Worse still, Ellen wouldn't take any accountability and described the incident as a coordinated attack.
I still don't understand it. I thought something
Pretty
was
simple,
going on
actually.
that because it was too orchestrated, it was too coordinated, and people get picked on, but for 4 months straight for me, and then for me to read in the press about a toxic work environment, when all I've ever heard from every guest that comes on the show is what a happy atmosphere this is, and what a happy place it is.
Even though Ellen was the face and figurehead of the show, she made it seem like she didn't have full control over or knowledge of the workplace culture.
People were thinking, how could you not know? And if you didn't know, should you have known?
I don't know how I could have known when there's 255 employees here, and there are a lot of different buildings and a lot of different, there are different areas, and I delegate. There are bosses to each different area. It is my name on the show, so clearly it affects me, and I have to be the one to stand up and say, this can't be tolerated, we need to make changes, what can I do? And, unless I literally, stayed here until the last person goes home at night and checked in with 255 people, but I do wish somebody would have come to me and said, hey, something's going on that you should know about. I had no...
When you have all these rules that you can't go into your office, you can't speak to Ellen, you have to walk on eggshells to talk to you, I don't think people want to go to you if they need help.
No idea.
As you'd imagine, no one was going to buy Ellen's claims of ignorance, with commenters stating, guests talking about a happy atmosphere is very different than the atmosphere of staff working in, as well as, you can treat celebrities on your show with a big smile, welcoming attitude, and respect, but it's the way you treat those who aren't the celebrities, the staff, or the behind-the-scenes staff that really shows your character. The disconnect was that Ellen saw the controversy as an isolated incident, while the audience and staff saw it as more of a systematic issue. In reality, Ellen's lack of sympathy, care, and concern for her employees and fans proved that the show's inspirational and uplifting message was entirely manufactured, only being put at the forefront when the cameras were rolling. What makes this even worse is how these revelations recontextualized the previous rumors about Ellen's behavior.
This audience member on The Ellen Show is now revealing how she went from thrilled to getting really upset.
You just expect a lot when you go to meet like your idol, and then when you get disappointed, it's like such a letdown.
In 2018, Dana DiMatteo flew from Chicago to Los Angeles and was delighted to be picked out of the audience to have some fun with Ellen. But then she says she was shocked when she was briefed on the comedy bit by the producers.
They tell you...
She was briefed on the comedy bit? So she was told about what's going to happen. And so it wasn't even that special. No.
You know, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star, not you.
Ellen's motto is be kind.
Be kind to one another.
But Dana says Ellen was actually the opposite on the day she visited.
How does the Ellen we see on TV compare to the Ellen you saw when the camera stopped rolling?
Totally different. She would only speak to the audience when the cameras were rolling. As soon as they turned the cameras off, she would not even acknowledge the audience. She would just sit on the couch, basically.
This abrasive pattern of behavior would be on full display in Ellen's final comedy special in 2024, dubbed For Your Approval.
Here's the problem. I'm a comedian who got a talk show, and I ended the show every day by saying, be kind to one another. Had I ended my show by saying, go fuck yourselves,
it would have been the same thing.
People would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind. I didn't go into this business for money. It was about healing my childhood wounds. I thought if I could make people happy, then they'll like me. And if they like me, I'll feel good about myself. And all I can say about that is thank God for the money.
From glossing over the toxic workplace experience she created, to making snide comments about the complaints from former fans and co-workers, Ellen did everything in her power to be as insufferable as possible, and viewers weren't going to let her get away with it. The comedy special would review extremely poorly, and create another wave of hate towards Ellen. At this point, it didn't seem like Ellen cared about people knowing the truth about her. She had already concluded one of the most prolific talk show runs in television history, and could now work on any project she wanted, so it made sense that she'd completely discard any pretense of positivity. However, in doing so, Ellen also discarded the essence of the show that made her popular and gave her a legacy, which proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was all an act from day one.
So that's another banger from Internet Anarchist. Remember, go subscribe to The Camo Killer, my channel, and why not, go subscribe to Internet Anarchist, drop a like, and have a good day.